Hey guys, how's it going? Working on the garage a little bit more, getting some more little stuff done around here. Got a lot of stuff already taken care of. And the wife's working on the house some more, getting a lot of stuff taken care of in the house. We're putting stuff on Craigslist. In the consolidation efforts, I have a ginormous snake cage. You can actually walk in it. It's for a king snake, California king snake. It's yellow and brown. Maybe in a minute I'll take you in there to see it. The snake cage is, I think it's like 7 feet tall, maybe 3 feet deep, 6 foot long, big pane of glass so you can see into it. Has a door on the side so you can walk in and clean it. Sit in there if you wanted to with your snake or whatever you have in there. I got it from a friend of mine back, I want to say 8 years ago. He used to have a boa in there, got too big for the cage, so he put it in a spare bedroom until it got so big he couldn't sleep anymore. But he gave me the cage. The cage is massive. We're trying to consolidate a little bit, so I'm going to make a smaller snake cage. I'm not a big fan of putting a big snake in a tiny little cage and watching it go around in circles, so the cage is still going to be fairly decent sized. Keep in mind I got this California king snake maybe 11 years ago, 12 years ago. My cat actually brought it home. It was only about 8 inches long. I knew nothing about king snakes. I didn't even know what type of snake it was when I got it. It was coiled up in the corner of my living room, and my cat was sitting there watching it. So since it wasn't going to move anywhere with my cat watching it, I went over, got on the internet, found out what type of snake it was, figured out it wasn't poisonous, couldn't hurt me, so I went over, picked it up, put it in something for a while till the next weekend. Maybe it was a Tupperware bin, you know, decent size, and then I made a snake cage for it back then. It's now probably 4.5 feet long, and I can't bring myself to get rid of it just because we're gonna move out somewhere. I can't just let it go free. The hawks around here in the valley will destroy it in a day. It won't take any time at all. So I can't set it free, and I don't feel like putting it out on Craigslist for somebody to come and get, because I don't know what they're going to do with it. And I'd hate to see an animal get tortured or anything. You never know what people do nowadays. So I took on the responsibility of raising this snake, so I'm going to raise it until it grows old and dies. But I've got to make a smaller cage. The cage we have, you can't even move it. It's this big, huge pane of glass. I get worried every time the dogs get near it or the kids get near it. So I'm going to make something smaller, probably 4 foot tall, somewhere close to 2 foot by 2 foot. And then we're going to use this pane of glass right here, which I have from the first snake cage I made. It's probably 1/4 inch thick glass. It's pretty thick, pretty heavy. I trimmed an edge off so it'll fit in a 2 by 2, and it'll fit the height wise too. I went over to Lowe's or Home Depot, Lowe's I think it was, and got a sheet of plywood, the thinnest plywood I could get, like 15 bucks. I have some scrap plywood laying around and some scrap lumber for corners and edges, so I'm gonna make a snake cage. It might take a couple videos, I don't know, but hang around and I'll show you the little process I'm going to go through in making a snake cage. I'm going to get some of this wood cut up, and I don't usually draw up plans. They're in my head, and I can keep them sorted out in my head easier than I can draw them out. So I'm going to go cut some wood up and get everything kind of going, and give you another little tidbit here when I get the wood cut up. Alright guys, so I got some plywood cut up so I can start making the snake cage. I've got my sides, 4 foot tall, 2 foot wide. The front and back, which are 3 foot wide and 4 foot tall. And of course the top and bottom, which are 2 foot by 3 foot. A little bit over 3 foot, because if you add up all the, when you make the box, it's got to be a little bit longer. But basically, basic dimensions, 3 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot tall. You'll have this pane of glass in the front, which will be one of these. One of these pieces will have that pane of glass in it. I also have the pieces that are going to connect it together or help hold it together. For these, I ripped up some 2x4s and I'm gonna cut these out so it's more like a L bracket that will fit over top of the sides and the top and bottom. Kind of give it borders and make it look a little nicer. And then one of the side pieces over here will have a door cut in it. One of these pieces I'll take and I'll cut a door. I'll probably leave 3 inches all the way around for a border. Cut a door out of it, put some hinges on it, and a latch system so it can't swing open and closed. And that'll give me access to get inside it and clean it. Along with the top piece, we'll have holes cut in it. I don't know how many, maybe 12, 15 holes with a hole saw. And I'll put some wire mesh over the top, and that lets air vent out of it so that it doesn't get too hot or too cold in there. Keeps it the same temperatures inside the house. So let me get some of this stuff together. I'll get the sides put together and get some of those pieces over there cut out so they fit on there real nice, and I'll get back to you. Alright guys, so I got a little bit more done. I got my box cut and put together. I glued in between and used brad nails to nail it together. It's not gonna fall apart. It's pretty sturdy, but it could definitely be sturdier. So for trim, I notched these out. I'm going to cut them to fit all the way around all the corners. And I'm going to glue those on there with brad nails going in at an angle. So as far as ripping this out, I set up my little portable table saw and just kind of measured the height and then the width and made sure it would V it out. So give me a little more time, get some more of this done. Hoping to have it done today. It's getting a little dark out, but it's not really that late. It's the middle of winter. So I'll be back in a few. Hey, I'm back. Got a little bit more done. Took a little longer than I thought it would to trim up these corner pieces here. Trimmed them up all the way around. Got some drip and glue. Got the whole thing basically boxed in. It's still a complete box, no way inside. But I'm going to change that here shortly. This is where the door is going to be to get in and clean the cage. So what I'm going to do, I've got it traced out. I'm going to cut down this line. Then I'm going to screw on some hinges. Right on top of there, I'm going to screw on some hinges, and then I'll cut out the rest of the door. What that does is it keeps the door right where it's supposed to be, so you don't have to worry about realigning the door. If you just make the cuts around the hinges, screw them on, and then make the rest of the cuts, your door stays exactly where it's supposed to be. I don't know what type of hinge I'm going to put over here, or what type of latch I'm going to put over here. I made the latch on my other snake cage. It came with a latch, but I wanted something a little bit stronger. It just had one little latch in the middle, and the door's really tall on that cage, so I wanted a latch that would connect the top and the bottom and keep it from moving. So I don't know what type of latch system I'm going to use on this one. Probably something similar to the one I have on that one, but we'll see when the time comes. For now, I'm going to cut the hole for the door, get the door movable, and I'll probably cut the hole on this side for the glass. I don't know, which side should I use? Well, they're both about the same sheet of plywood, so I'll probably just do it on this side. Cut the hole for the glass a little bit smaller. What I'll do is I'll set the glass on there, I'll trace around it, and then I'll trace like another inch, and I'll cut that out, the inner one. So the glass sits on there, and then I'll make a border for the glass to hold it in place. So I'm not a master woodworker, carpenter, whatever you want to call it. I'm better with metal, but I'm not going to make a snake cage out of metal. So here's my woodworking skills. Not the greatest, but it's not going to fall apart either. So as I work with wood more, I get better at it. But I'm not a carpenter, so make fun of it if you want. It doesn't bother me. I'll be back in a little bit as soon as I get this door cut out. Get the cutout for the window on there. We'll see how many of these little brad nails came through on the inside that I got to cut off. Hold on just a minute. We'll be back. Alright guys. I don't know where I left off with my last video. I started this project Saturday morning. Here it is Sunday evening. And I think I've got 4 or 5 clips already of this. But it's basically finished. I've got the glass on. You can see how I sandwiched the glass in there. I cut the hole in the plywood a little bit smaller than the glass. Set the glass on there. Cut these pieces, notched them out so that they fit tight. But there's room for the glass, and the glass is actually float a little bit in there. It's not tight. I drilled some holes in the top for ventilation so it doesn't turn into a hot box in there. I've got to go and get some mesh, something to staple down over top of this. And I've got to drill a hole in the side for a heat light in the bottom. But a little latch, I went with a simple latch on this. It's pretty sturdy. With my other cage, the door's a lot bigger. It's way bigger, and you can take the plywood and just push on it and make it so that a snake or a mouse can get out. With this one, not so much. So I just went with a simple latch. Plenty of room inside. Basically ready for a snake to go in there. I got to put some AstroTurf down and put some branches so he can climb up it, and the heat light in. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. It took about 2 days to make this in its entirety because I kept getting drug away. But don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me some feedback. Everything helps, guys. Help spread the word about my channel. Thanks again. Until next time, have fun and be safe.